I'm ready. Everyone in line waiting for Ryan to get ready is ready. Ryan, I'm not so sure is ready. He didn't sound very ready when I
I
asked if he
just
was
got out
ready.
of makeup, David. So
Listen, Ryan,
clearly,
we're going to talk about white diversity. We're going to talk about white diversity. White people can be diverse. I don't know if people watching know this. There's more than just white people.
clearly they're all the
Use
same skin color.
use of force against the president. Uh, m- Something more interesting than that, though. Johnson and Johnson. We continue our saga. U.S. rockets apparently are not. They're not very good against Russia, but we're not at war. And I don't know if we should lead with this or not. I don't know how important this is to most people, but I want to talk about it because the Libertarian Party convention was recently. Trump was there. RFK Jr. was there. Joe Biden is a corpse, and the LP had made their nomination. Ryan, would you care to see the free party, right? The party of freedom, the party of fuck you to big government. Would you like to see, Ryan, a picture of who they have nominated?
Was it Tim Pool, David?
No, it's not Tim Pool. It's not Tim Pool. It is this guy. That is the face of freedom. You can't see most of his face because it's tucked behind a mask. That's
Wait,
the
really?
guy. Yeah, that's the guy. He's got his rainbow LP shirt on. He's got his mask hidden behind his face like a good subservient of the government. That is the guy the LP went with.
Really? Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
that's the guy. No, that's the guy. This isn't a. It's not a joke. It's not a joke, as Joe Biden would say. Not
So
being
let me get this
facetious.
straight. You picked
Yeah,
that guy instead of the guy that was actually
I don't know what other guys they had.
like they could have picked Trump to be the nomination of the Libertarian
Well,
Party.
interestingly enough, the Being Libertarian Twitter page immediately after this guy was nominated put up a poll. Now that it's official, who are you going to vote for? RFK Jr., Joe Biden, Donald Trump, or that guy? Trump got like 80% of the vote on the Being Libertarian Twitter poll. So it's not going well for libertarians. It's especially not going well for people who don't follow the party, which is probably everyone. The Mises Caucus recently, which in a Dave Smith revolution, I love that guy by the way, had kicked all the commies out, kicked all the woke idiots out, except for and apparently enough of them, and they took over what they considered the Ron Paul revolution of the party. And it, this is the sum of all their hard work. It must be very devastating to go through a total party reshape and end up with that. Dave Smith's not happy about it at all. He flat out said, "Not my guy. Don't like him. Probably not going to vote for him." So the LP that normally gets 2% of the vote is probably not even going to get that.
They get like 0.2% of the vote.
But it's interesting, Ryan. Tim Pool, in the most Tim Pool way, said it's impossible. People who are libertarians in the Libertarian Party will never vote for Trump. Never. Now, we personally know one, at least one. I don't know if John technically is a Republican now. We know at least one. So anecdotally, I know people in the LP will vote for Donald Trump. But really, like how many people? I'm curious. Do you think are going to be like, no, fuck this guy. I'm a libertarian. Either not vote at all, which I think is most likely, or switch to a Trump RFK vote.
You think they'd be more likely to switch vote
I would
than
think
sink?
so.
I would think then sink with the ship because people don't want to vote for a losing team.
I think I think they're more than happy. Listen, libertarians have made this remark many times. They don't care. They're not going to vote for the guy just because they think he's going to win. They're going to vote for the guy that they think best represents them. I don't know if this guy is representative of the Libertarian Party. I just can't see it. I mean, he had they had I think I shared it in the group recently, and I don't have it here, but this same guy put up he was questioned about transitioning, and he said under the age of 18, and he said, "Oh yeah, well, absolutely under the age of 18, they should be allowed to transition, but nothing physical, just like hormone blockers." What do you mean nothing physical? That's the chemistry of your body. That's your DNA, your physical cells. Your cells are physical. That is a physical transitioning of your body through chemicals. I mean, the guy's just an absolute dud.
Well, not to mention too, I'm gonna go on record and say this. This isn't an attack on the community.
I consider myself, for the record, to be somewhat libertarian. I mean, I don't consider myself to be a full blown libertarian, but certainly I'd be on board with the
The new
Mises guys. If Dave Smith were to run, I mean, I'd be a fan for sure. But like this guy, no chance.
the rainbow flag, when it started mixing transgenderism and people of color with their stats on being gay for a symbol, it was just the final nail in the coffin, showing you that this was the new American flag. It's going to be the rainbow flag. I know this has been said for a while, but the libertarian candidate wearing a shirt with a hedgehog that has, let's be honest here, the rainbow LBGT flag. Black Lives Matter wasn't the most peaceful protesting. So, I think it's odd, especially, there's not a lot of thought going on in the Libertarian Party. I am completely ignorant over there, but just something simple like this. I don't want to Jordan Peterson this guy to death, but the idea that like you're attaching a symbol of something that's like super congruent. Like the idea of like the gay flag in itself is that these people need representation, all these things. And you're attaching it to an ideology that's basically about not identifying people. Like in essence, the idea of LGBT is hyper definition of yourself, and the main ideas of libertarianism is to separate labels from yourself, meaning that I want to be just an individual American, free individual American, not a cisgendered Christian, carry on your pronouns. So I think that's interesting, truly. I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah,
doubt it. Let's even go further. Just this guy is a government pawn. This is astroturf. This is controlled opposition. This is the Hegelian dialectic. This is when George Soros funds local and medium-sized political campaign events and judges and local municipalities. That's where some of these elites put most of their money. The local elites in that area put their money there because it's the best return on investment. And yeah, I wouldn't doubt it if the guy, this guy in particular, is like, there's just no way. There's no way in my opinion. Now, look, I am not the spokesperson of libertarianism, but if I feel the way I feel, and I don't even consider myself a libertarian, I just told you guys once again, we're just Americans here. Like the idea that this guy has got a rainbow flag on his shirt and he's supposed to represent an ideology that could potentially be less extreme in the freedom sort that I am in. You know what I mean? These guys want more freedom. So if they want,
they're supposed to. They're
yeah,
supposed to.
yeah. So if you want more freedom than me, and here we are, we're mixing symbols with the very symbol that's supposed to be anti-symbol. And this isn't jargon. It's not by accident. They're not veeping they're not rainbow washing the flag of libertarianism for no reason. What's probably doing is just like what the Catholic Church, right? They started opening up to gays. They got to open up to the gays as well, because maybe the gays don't have political representation anymore. Because let's be honest, most Republicans don't care.
No, I mean,
Really. And most Democrats haven't cared forever. They had to keep going, right? So now, like, naturally,
well, they
those
really
people,
have. I mean, Trump was literally the first open pro gay marriage president that was ever elected. I mean, Obama literally went, and it's been said many times before, so it's not an original thought, but it's important to note. Obama literally went into office as anti-gay marriage. And I know times were different. He went into office in 2008, right? So yeah, things were a little bit different back then, but the fact is that wasn't that long ago. And to now go from Obama going into office anti-gay marriage to where we are today, it's an over-representation, right? Isn't it? It's gone too far. It's an overcorrection.
It's a
This
hyper
is the
representation.
slippery, yeah. This is the slippery slope everyone talked about when they talked about gay people getting married, which I used to think was ridiculous, and I still think in general it was ridiculous. But it clearly was the starting off point to things that we have today. I'm not anti-gay marriage. I don't really give a fuck. Quite frankly, I don't even know if I'm pro-marriage anymore. I don't think the
Once
state should
again,
be
the
involved.
government. Once again, that would be the libertarian ideal, David, right? And the idea of the rainbow flag being tied to the libertarian flag is the idea that marriage is defined in the LGBT sphere by the government to begin with, just like gender and sex. And that's
Right,
like
which
why.
we've talked about on the program before. The original idea of marriage is right. It's a contract before God of you and your loved one. So
I also think
it's
there's a lot to marriage. Like I
yeah.
think the
There's a lot to it.
Christians developed it to stop wars, and it works. Yeah, but once again, the idea that the libertarians are being tied to a symbol like the rainbow flag and what that stands for, when that flag stands for hyper identification of things, it's just this is like the things. These are the small rocks, that start avalanches. The Proud Boys went through this, and all these other organizations and biker gangs that get affiliated and get infiltrated by government agents. Now, I'm not saying that they don't need to be, infiltrated. I don't want domestic terrorism either. But
Well, let's shift course a little bit here, Ryan. Let's talk about identifying ourselves because we're white. You sent this to me. It's in a tweet. Italian is now a protected class. Looks like Columbus Day is back on the menu. AMC slaps Goodfellas with a trigger warning: offensive content that includes cultural stereotypes of Italians. First of all, I'm a walking stereotype of Italians. I mean, let's be honest.
I was gonna say that's not a stereotype of Italians. It's like Italian culture.
So we might have to put a trigger warning on that I have a glorious mustache.
Am I Italian because I slap women, or just not like a
No, that's just the Cuomos.
They don't slap all women, David. Just their favorite women. Just the ones that they pick to work their private security detail.
This is obviously ridiculous. But more importantly than that, you said on the program a while back that white people are constantly just defined as white generically, right? Like it's like such a high encompassing thing. Ryan, you're a black man, you're no longer white. It's such a high encompassing thing, but really white can be, like Eastern European, it can be, Italian, it can be French, it could be whatever, German. Like all these things are white. So it's a ridiculous statement to just say, flat out white people. It's such a diverse race in general that is it's similar to just calling all like a Chinese person or a Japanese person, just be like, well, they're all Asian people, right? Like just totally ignoring the culture of Japan or China. It's a ridiculous thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you live in an area like, I don't know, Buffalo, that literally have not only one of the largest Dingus Day parades, but also one of the largest St. Patrick's Day parades in the country.
So it has 2 white parades.
Yeah.
So two days a year you have white pride parades.
Well, I don't know how often the Klan gets together, David. I would call that a white pride parade. I think celebrating our ethnicities and ancient traditions of women slapping men with pussy willows and then men chasing women and squirting them with squirt guns to make them wet.
And then Anderson Cooper laughing on air about it.
Yeah, so, like the moral of the story is, back to your point, David, it's like, yeah, we have a culture. Like I haven't shared the story personally, I don't think, but like when I was an electrician, I was traveling for work one time, and I stayed out of town with a couple of the guys I work with, and I was the oldest of the guys, but one dude in particular was, mid-20s, later 20s. And he was from Kentucky, but he lived up here for whatever reason, and That's not important. But one night we had to cook dinner at the Airbnb, and I decided to get Polish sausage and pierogies, and I cooked them the way I cook them at home. You know what I mean? And we sat down and we finished eating. He's like, man, I gotta tell you. I was like, yeah, what's that, man? He's like, I've never even had pierogies or Polish sausage before. I was like,
That makes sense.
what? He's like, yeah. He's like, it was really good. And he's like, I'm gonna show the kids and my wife. And he actually told me that when he showed the kids and wife it, they liked it too. And that was like one of the first times that hit me that, like, especially in our area in Buffalo, like our little culture with our food is very particular to this area. But that's a simple example. I mean, this dude is an Irishman. Basically, I asked him his ethnicities before, and he's like Irish and English. So like in his house, maybe his family came here before Poland was even a country. You never know. So it's just like it. If white people don't have a culture, explain to me why like a pierogi and a ravioli aren't the same thing. Why are they even called a different name if they don't have a culture? If there isn't a cultural difference, if there isn't a cultural reference, wouldn't all white people stuff look the same?
I don't think people fully understand or appreciate how old like Europe is.
Yeah, or what the hell culture even means. I mean, your family has a culture.
Yeah, but yes, but a lot of that, it does tie back to what?
The traditions that you were raised with, and in our case, as Europeans, to your point, David, come from the immigrant stories that were transferred here from the old world that we now carry. And then now it's up to us as the older generations that are here to transfer that to our children, and they either die or they stay.
I mean, my family's heavily Italian, German, and Polish, so like I've certainly had pierogies and raviolis. You know what I mean? And this is like really simplifying it, boiling it down to basic things. But the grand scheme of what we're really talking about, the big picture here, is that so often white people kind of just get kicked to the side as a big generic white people, and it's interesting to now see. I don't know, this AMC trigger warning. It's really silly, but it's like the first time in a long time, potentially my lifetime, that it's been accepted that white people are not just white people.
Well,
it's a very big, broad thing.
Dave, you know what this is? This is racism officially. This is actual class by race now.
Culturism? Is that what that would be?
Ooh, cultural warfare.
I'm not sure what it is.
And I say
Brian.
that because this has always been, I don't know, like always, but the swastika is a prime example. Because when you look in German history, it's all over the damn place for obvious reasons. So it's like this symbol, like, is this not German culture? Which obviously, I know the symbol itself predates it. My point is not saying that the German culture in itself is inherently tied around Nazism. But when you look at certain customs and you look at the history, and like these are all the things you have to look at in together. And, you really wonder to yourself, like, in a Hitler film, will it say that this is indicative of history of German cultures and German people? Because just even the Italian thing, this is very reminiscent of like when you read about ancient civilizations, like especially the Greeks. The Greeks were all Greek-speaking people, but they all thought they were different people because of different city-states, like the Athenians and the Spartans. They're both, but they thought they were different people because they had a label for it. So are we now back to that we're going to be old Polish Americans, we're going to be Irish Americans, we're going to be, will we see the Italian Americans? This is like what my dad described to me about the old race wars in Buffalo in the 60s. And it wasn't just a black on white thing. It was the Italians would attack the Polish, and
Hmm.
the Polish would attack the Irish. And, there's a reason why South Buffalo was known as like the Polish district or
So then,
the Irish district. South Buffalo was the Irish. And if I'm not mistaken, Lackawanna was some of the Polish people.
so
But
then,
that's
is it your take that this is a very subtle foot in the door towards further dividing?
why
Well,
wouldn't
is
it?
this
Why wouldn't it be division? And when you look at it in reality, the thing that what unites white people in itself is that the common culture that we share was baked into the country. Like, let's be honest here. It wasn't African ideas or Asian ideas that built America. You know what I mean? It was like a Western ideology of the clash of the different Central, Eastern, a little bit, and Western areas of the world at that time.
well, yes, it was
It was
historically built.
by
Yeah,
Europeans.
yeah, absolutely.
So if they can destroy this, I mean, I'm just further psychoanalyzing it to your point, David. But yeah, this is exactly what this is. This is the splitting. Because, dude, don't get it twisted. My grandfather's dead, but he used to call the Italians the N word. He was. They were all white.
Makes sense.
Well, to him as a
You're
Polish
supposed to call them. You're supposed to call them wops, Ryan,
wops,
or dagos.
because Sicilian is close to black people. And
I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. We're white, so we can be racist against white people, right?
are you
I can say-
Italian though, David? Can you say Polak if you're not a Polish guy? Here we go though.
Hey, while I'm very
WAP. If WAP is or
hey,
what's the
hey,
other,
watch it,
Pedro?
watch it. Are
Pedro.
you Italian?
See,
Easy.
this is
Hey.
hey, you're not part of our culture. We'll step outside with the fishes and concrete boots. I'll fucking get my babushka and
Hey.
strangle the shit out of you.
Puff Mike's back. I think he's a big Polak. Can't we all just be American and not fight each other? Yeah,
I agree.
yeah, fuck yeah. I'm with you 100%. Absolutely.
I'm fine
speaking
with
of-
that, but when they try to change cinema and history, the point of cinema and history is to be able to look back without these dated eyes that we have and be like, oh, this is racist and needs to go. We can't read this because it's racist. When in reality, you should look back at it and be freaking like happy that we don't live like they used to. Just be happy we don't live like the times of Goodfellas. And how do you even have that perspective if you don't have the thing to go like tap into and think about it from that point of view again, being shot in a movie or a story or a book.
I like this come together idea. Let's come together and talk about this, Ryan. Let me put this up on screen. This is I want you to focus on the headline and then where it goes from there. The prosecutors in the Trump classified document case seek to bar from making statements that, quote, endangered law enforcement. That seems like a reasonable request. Certainly don't want Trump endangering law enforcement.
What
so
statements were
let's-
endangering law enforcement?
Well, let's talk about it, right? Federal prosecutors on Friday asked the judge overseeing the classified documents case against Donald Trump to bar the former president from public statements that, quote, pose a significant, imminent, and foreseeable danger to law enforcement agents participating in the prosecution. The FBI request to the U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon follows a false claim by Trump. Keep in mind, it states a false claim by Trump. Earlier this week that the FBI agents who searched his Mar-a-Lago estate in August 2022 were, quote, authorized to shoot me and were, quote, locked and loaded, ready to take me out and put my family in danger. Now, those seem like ridiculous claims that the FBI would want to shoot Donald Trump, of course. The presumptive Republican presidential nominee, presumptive, yeah, was
Be
referring
ashamed
to
if you were in prison when you're supposed to be running for
it'd be a
president.
shame. Go back to the Goodfellas. It'd be a real shame. The presumptive Republican presidential nominee was
Yo, did you just? Are you Italian, bro? Come on.
yeah, a little bit. I can say it.
So fucking
say it.
stupid, dude. Everything.
can
You're not even
listen.
gonna be able to talk about your own. You can't even talk about white people anymore because I'm not Italian. Like that's where we're at. I can't say shit about black people without being racist. And then when I even talk about the quote race that I am, if I'm not the ethnicity of the race, I'm fucking
So to just give people an insight of how Italian, growing up when I was at family parties, they wouldn't swear in English; they would swear in Italian. So I know a handful of Italian swears. The presumptive Republican presidential nominee was referring to the disclosure in a court document that the FBI, during the search, followed a standard use of force policy that prohibits the use of deadly force. Well, that's good. Except when the officer conducting the search has a reasonable belief that the subject of such force poses an imminent danger of or death of serious physical injury. So let's break this down. What this is coming from? They don't want Trump talking about the fact that during the execution of the search of his property, which was a very broad search. We went over the warrant when it happened. Warrants typically have a specific, we're going to search this area, we're looking for this document, this document, this document. This was basically, we're going to search Trump's house and maybe we'll find some shit. By the way,
search.
yeah. By the way, we could use deadly force if we want to. Now, the FBI's cover for that is, of course, that it's very standard procedure that we would potentially authorize the use of force.
It's standard procedure that we lock down the global economy for a less than 1% kill rate on a virus we made in a lab, David.
So
it's standard procedure to censor two dudes on the internet who not only have their own political opinion that goes against the mainstream narrative, but are laser fucking accurate with their predictions and breakdowns. It's just standard operating procedure, David, to just quell profits before they're allowed to be. I'm sorry, David, go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Listen, whether or
presumptive anomaly, dude, like
whether or not it is
Trump, like, didn't he win the fucking RNC like in a landslide? Like he got all the delegates.
Yes, but I guess what they're I guess what they're waiting for is the official dawning of the king. Until it's official, it's not official. So listen, they're gonna put him in jail anyway, so they're gonna have to find somebody else to run.
Yo, they will jail that guy.
Well, they'll jail him or they'll execute a search warrant with standard use of force.
Super standard.
If FBI had the okay, then why didn't they go ahead with it? Why didn't the agents take him out, Ryan?
Well, apparently it's just standard. This is a standard thing. They don't normally kill people, right?
The FBI?
Yeah.
Now, if it was the DEA, I'd be worried. Because they're known to shoot a dog.
I gotta ask the FBI this. Whoever commented that, let's ask the FBI this. If it's standard operating procedure when you meet a guy in a Facebook group and he's a little off the edge and he says he wants to blah blah blah, and then you like coax him along and you give him the funding and you tell him if you show up to the bridge, you know, with the stuff in a van, because that happens.
Is it standard FBI procedure to involve yourself in all these groups and then cause riots?
It's not like the pallet of bricks were there yesterday, David. They just showed up this morning. They're building buildings down there.
Standard FBI procedure.
Look, I'm not going to say either. I'm not going to say that there's nefarious deeds 100% of the time. But if I go off of my censorship record on YouTube, I would definitely say that they are behind all the bullshit. I don't doubt it. I heard the church committee tape hearings in the 1970s on YouTube. I told you guys to go listen to them, and that was what the FBI and the CIA had access to back then. I'm not out of the fucking realm of possibility to think that the FBI is injecting in domestic elections so that they can keep the power system the way it is. How many people went along with COVID? Like, I don't want to keep using this as a metric, but it's kind of like the metric of tyranny. We basically had a Hitler invasion. It was just called SARS-CoV-19. But we had a dictator in America. That's the metric. They know that you'll listen. Presumptive nominee. People already casted their vote for the guy. How's he presumptive? The FBI didn't have...
Well, because to answer your question, and this will also go more towards what you're saying, but people casted their votes except the delegates. And that doesn't happen until the convention.
I was doing my duty to the Constitution. Slap the shit out of Mike Pence. If the FBI had the authority for deadly force, why wouldn't they use it? let's be honest here. The FBI may actually have needed to use deadly force in a very rare scenario that somebody was an idiot at the Trump Mar-a-Lago residence. Like, let's be honest. Maybe there was private security guards there that didn't know. Some of that technical, I understand this is legal paperwork. Like, some of that technical paperwork and legal paperwork only has those words on there. So if there isn't 0.001% of a shooting, that at least it was on paperwork for the insurance that's got to get filed for fucking health insurance. And
is it standard FBI procedure to make people turn off their security cameras?
I don't know, is it standard police procedure to keep a known pedophile that runs a fucking secret island that every businessman in a fucking most security prison ever, but it's fucking so whatever. I know we keep mixing things to try to fucking shit talk the FBI, but how I'm so tired of trying to rationalize with people that have lied to us. Like, we have like Stockholm syndrome with authority. This is a problem.
Well,
we're still thinking that
this is good. This is the bigger picture I wanted you to get into. So it's standard procedure for the FBI to have use of force against the person they're doing their search for.
Right, but I don't have the right to defend me and my family with the Second Amendment.
Is that a good procedure? Should they automatically have use of force authority? What happened to my Fourth Amendment right of a speedy trial, jury of my peers, right?
Oh, I mean, it's not like, I have right to privacy, David. What would you need with privacy, terrorist? See, back to the whole point about the FBI and deadly force. The FBI knew what to do with the Trump raid. This is like what I mean. Dude, the fucking amount of leaks that happened during the Trump presidency has never been like that since like probably the Nixon administration. Now, granted, the amount of leaks, like, there may have been a presidency with more leaks because of modern technology, but when we're talking like bombshell things that tried to change the status quo and political. Now, granted, I wasn't alive during Nixon, but the Watergate scandal is a prime example of that. Because basically, the Stormy Daniels bombshell once in a lifetime trial is basically the equivalent of Watergate. So, but it's just interesting because I would love to think, I trust 80% of the government employees, the people that I see. And it's still kind of like the same argument about YouTube. Like, people are still trying to be like, well, YouTube's a private company. Well, police officers work for us. Well, do they if they get funding from global institutions? The police officers that pull you over to write you a ticket for a bad inspection sticker, their money comes from global government. Their training comes from global government. Their training comes from the federal government. Your state police aren't even your state police. They're federalized. They're not your state police, which is not supposed to happen. There's supposed to be a division of power there. And this isn't a party conversation. This isn't a Republican idea. This is like literally what's supposed to fucking happen. As Americans, Mike. As Americans, we agree, cosmi pomitatis, or whatever is the Latin, that the military has no place, but we've been federalized. If all of our states have federal apparatuses baked into them, we have a federal government that is in all 50 states. Their state police are all federalized. They might as well be militarized with their equipment, but I always got to hear about the weapons of war. But every police has a weapon of war, and they have a fucking digital device in their pocket that is the worst weapon of war because it can collect all your mass metadata. And if you think you can self-incriminate yourself with a fucking handgun that's not supposed to be in your car, imagine what you can do with self-incrimination with your smartphone. They can get you for probably digital crimes that you didn't even know existed. All it looks like on this day that you streamed something off an illegal third-party platform.
Like Rumble.
And to think it's not all put together, you're out of your mind. Because I'm told that, we're just doing our job. We're just doing our job. When everything that is, just doing our job is violating every civil liberty that's ever been agreed to as the vestige, as the vocal point, as the focal point of what you need for a free society. If your civilians don't have the access to freedom of speech and practices of religion and protests, as well as the defense of themselves, as well as privacy, as well as self-government, it isn't a society of democracy. And I keep being told by the same people, the FBI that do these things, that the reason they do these raids on former presidents is to uphold the democracy. This is not democratic. They're targeting former presidents. They're going after political oppositions. This is all this is. This happens in third world countries. And quite frankly, the way it happens in third world countries is through probably the funding of the FBI and the CIA. So to think that the FBI or the CIA doesn't have the experience necessary to untwine the very thing that they're doing is so I'm saying, like, I'm so tired. Like, people, dude, you guys have to do so much legwork to just prop up the government when all they've ever fucking done is lied.
I don't know. I don't love the use.
Dude, they said the economy is your fault, David. Like, why would I believe fucking anything? The economy's my fault. I don't even make jobs. You're an employee at a restaurant job, and it's my fault the economy's bad. When I make I'm a waiter. What? But I have to rationalize reasons why I need to keep trusting the FBI? You don't think the largest federal, like, police organization is going to defend the system? They're not out there. They don't want the civilian. Like, what are we talking about? How many people are willing to lose their pension to be wrong?
I don't know.
The government's the largest employer in the country. So our economy is literally dependent on the system. And the people that go to work every day, the reason they work is to get the pension in 20 years. Do you see the problem? So, like, we need the system to keep the system afloat so everybody can benefit from the system in 20 years. But it's all built by the system, maintained by the system. Because that's all we've been taught, instead of open a fucking business and help people the rest of your life and have them pay you to the day you die. God forbid you do entrepreneur. Sorry, Dave. I know we're all over the place and we started on the FBI raid. But if they'll raid the former president...
It's all standard procedure, right?
Yeah, if they'll raid the former president and they'll censor Dave and I's YouTube channel, do the fucking math on what comes in between those things in a free country. They just censored Anne Frank in her attic, David, until the book was found 30 years later by her fucking father.
Well, it was probably standard procedure of the SS.
Standard procedure to just take every Jew we see to Auschwitz, David.
Those
aren't the same thing, Dave. Oh, you're right, David. It's not like they violated the Nuremberg Code with the COVID lockdown. Oh, I'm really tired of hearing about COVID, Ryan. Oh, you're real tired of hearing about the poison you were not forced to inject into your body. But I have to search for reasons to trust the FBI, David.
You know what I'm tired of hearing?
That guy's going to take it. The people that are going to take me and you down to the police station will literally die from the injection that they were forced to take to keep the job that is allowing them to pay for the life that they're trying to keep up by taking me to court. You got to shut this guy up. He'll undo the system. And then, like, this is why you got to make the list. You know? What are you willing to, like, what's more important? Oh, my family. Well, if you don't have a country, is it worth having a family in if there's no country? Sure. Okay, well, what if you don't have freedom in that country? So what are you dying for? You only get to pick one.
I'm sick of hearing, Ryan, that we're not in World War III.
Dave, we predicted World War III, though. We said we were in World War III.
U.S. supplied HIMARS are, quote, completely ineffective against the superior Russian jamming technology. Got a lot of pop in that one. One must ask, Ryan, two things. Why are we spending all this money on completely ineffective weaponry for Ukraine? And secondly, which I think is the bigger picture, how do we know this if we're not at war? There's really only one way to find this out, is there not? Is if our missiles are launching at Russia.
Well, David, maybe they're just firing them too far away from them because I know there's no troops with boots on the ground, so maybe they need
Mike said, I got kicked out and it made me watch ads. Yeah, Mike, I'm sorry. That's how we get paid. So just watch the ad.
Yeah, if they would
Um,
allow me on the place, freely, I wouldn't have to have ads on my fucking program.
Mike, watch the ads. Get the bearskin hoodie. The more
Bearskin
you
hoodies.
purchase,
Don Jr.'s book. He
Don Jr.'s book. I heard it's great.
great.
The
It's the
bearskin
best book
hoodie is
ever.
nice.
Yeah, I love my bearskin hoodie that I
There's
haven't
probably
yet
something
purchased.
about THC on there. I don't know. I don't know what all this hydroxychloroquine ads maybe. I don't know. Just watch the ads, Mike. Watch the ads so you can watch us. We'll take the revenue and then I won't share it with Ryan.
Yeah,
And
Dave.
then we'll come on here every Sunday and or Monday, probably a little bit late, to have a good conversation with everybody. This is our shtick now. I like it.
I'm gonna ask Dave in like 5 more years. Like, dude, how much have we made from the pod? He's gonna send me like an old pay stub. It's like like $50, man. And he's gonna have like a satin robe on and like a golden microphone. He's gonna be smoking cigars like Limbaugh used to do. He's
I
like,
bought
yeah,
literally
dude,
Rush's old golden microphone.
yeah. You're just gonna be like, dude, I don't know. I'm waiting for the pod to just like take off financially so I can quit my
Live
day
from
job.
the EIB network.
Yeah, Dave's fucking strapped in a.
I'm in Rush's house. It's like, dude, did you buy Rush Limbaugh's old house? Yeah.
Yeah. Eve got a
Only made $50.
promotion. Yeah, dude, Eve don't even work, bro. I'd see her on Facebook. She don't even work. Podcast would be worth like $10 million.
Mike, just the long story short, just watch the ad, man. I'm
Buy
I'm
the
telling you, the
hoodies.
bearskin hoodie,
Oh, they're so
the
nice.
tactical flashlight, I think is one of them.
Yeah, that hoodie that I have yet to buy and try on, Dave, is unbelievable.
When you click the link to buy the tactical flashlight, go off of the link. Do not try to Google, because then you can end up with a tactical flashlight. That's a whole different. You don't want that. Tactical flashlight. That's what you're looking for.
Tactical flashlight. Come in public, in private.
Where were we? Oh yeah, World War III. Sorry, I get a little off track sometimes when talking about the tactical flashlight. World War III.
Did you say
U.S.
flashlight?
supplied HIMARS flashlight. Completely ineffective. The bearskin flashlight is also a good choice. Russian jamming has rendered U.S. supplied HIMARS rocket launchers completely
The
ineffective.
Yogi Bear flashlight, dude.
Hey, boo boo. What's in the picnic basket? It's a dick. It's always a dick. A confidential Ukrainian
It's a
weapons
bearskin
assessment
penis, David. It's a bearskin.
was seen by the Washington Post. They just seen it. They happened to see the confidential Ukrainian. You don't just see that. Come on.
People familiar with the matter just seen it.
Jamming has also affected Musk's Starlink, causing serious communication issues. Good thing all those people don't have Neuralink.
Yeah, I thought Musk said it was bullshit. I thought.
Yeah, I thought, Ryan. I thought we weren't in world wars right now. Oh.
Well, Dave, it's not World Wars. They're just blocking Neuralink or SpaceX. What? Hold on. Sorry, dude's got too many.
Oh, he said the ad was a Trump lighter. It's the best, the bigliest flame.
Yeah, this is my first recollection of a Trump lighter. They send us so many gifts here on the program to advertise for you guys. So yeah, the Trump lighter's at the big bottom of the pile of the ads that I get to try for you. So, I couldn't do this without you guys. Mostly Dave's support, but mostly you guys buying the products. That bearskin flashlight, I'll tell you.
I'd love to do these daily. I could live stream daily. I think this is great.
I could smoke a fucking ad script. I'll tell you that much right
now. Ryan, we have to focus.
I have ADHD, David.
People won't advertise with us anymore if we don't focus. World War III.
Is that the thing holding us back, David? Is just the ad revenue?
Yeah, they're not going to advertise if we're too off track.
Yeah, nobody likes your program.
On shows talking about ads.
Yeah, nobody likes your program, even though you tell the fucking truth.
World War III.
Yeah. Just, I'm going to put on my next job application that I am in election interference specialist.
Well, we did in New Zealand's election, according to Google.
I don't know how that's an applicable skill set, but I'll find a way.
World War III. Too off track.
Yeah, no, World War III. We talked about this already, though, like 2 years ago, I thought. If I'm not mistaken, David, This
We did
program
mention it,
has
yeah.
been shot further in World War III than it hasn't been shot in World War III.
You might be right. When was
2022.
World War III? 2 years ago?
2022.
When we start? 20?
20.
COVID?
June 20.
Half and half, if nothing else, 50%.
50% of this podcast has been in World War III, so I don't know what the hell we're waiting for.
And the other 50% was during COVID.
Clearly, David, YouTube would tell us if we were in war, because they are a private company that care about the information getting out to the average civilian. That I'm sure when YouTube wakes up, it's the first thing they care about is making sure that the average person that can barely afford the groceries and childcare and the health care and gasoline, I'm sure that they care if we're at war or not.
Yeah, but the thing that's important to mention, Ryan, is that the FBI, standard procedure, of course, has portals to these private platforms, and they do tell them what is and is not allowed on their own private platforms, which does sound like a blatant violation of the First Amendment to free speech. But fear not, they're just private companies, Ryan, and it's just standard procedure, I'm sure.
Yeah, David. Well, Congress didn't make any law, so they didn't violate any amendments, right? Because they didn't
Well,
make a
true.
law.
Congress shall not make a law. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you're
Congress
right.
never
Yeah.
made a law. So like,
Yeah, no, it wasn't a law. They're just telling you can't speak freely. Yeah.
But David, it's a private company. They just get their funding from global governments.
It's just a private company and a bureaucracy. So surely it's not Congress saying that we're not allowed. So you're right, Ryan. In a complete and total legal loophole, what they do is completely legal, and we're not allowed to have our speech. Let's bring this up. You don't want to talk about World War III. What you want to talk about is the fact that Johnson & Johnson does not even need the secret vaccine courts, because what they can do is just file bankruptcies and settle up.
Isn't
Sorry,
that what
we can only-
Alex Jones did that, right, David? Clearly, Alex Jones
no,
filed bank.
No, he can't do that. The judge told him.
Clearly,
he's not
David,
allowed.
you're mistaken here. The guy that said some things on the internet can clearly file bankruptcy if Johnson & Johnson, whose telecom partner was knowingly giving people cervical cancer for decades and they didn't say nothing. Clearly, those are very similar, egregious crimes.
Key points. Cancer victims sued Johnson & Johnson, claiming the healthcare company executed a scheme to prevent victims from receiving their day in court. The suit stems from Johnson & Johnson's filing for bankruptcy multiple times to resolve tens of thousands of lawsuits. Johnson & Johnson says the lawsuits are frivolous, and they've offered large resolutions. That's the breakdown for the most part. Basically, what they're doing is they're filing small. The company is split into sectors, and then they bankrupt the sector of the company. And then, based on the bankruptcy, say we can only offer you this many dollars in a settlement. So now the people have gotten together, they got smart and said, well, what we're going to do is sue Johnson & Johnson for this. So I'm sure this will go really well, because it's gone well so far.
Well, clearly they're all getting money, David.
No.
Well, it's not like they have cancer and they'll live a long life to make sure that they can fight for the rest of their life.
Well, no. Throw all the lawsuits aside. This really breaks to the trust the science crowd. I jokingly posted in the chat my weather app, right? Trust the science, and I said the science. My weather app in the same screen said thunderstorms at 8. And then you scroll down, thunderstorms at 7:15. Which is it? Can't be both.
Sure, David. Time just identifies as 8 o'clock, like gender.
It sounds silly, but that's science in a nutshell to me. Listen, trust the science. Trust the science. There's secret vaccine courts, which aren't so secret if you watch our show, to settle up with the fact that the science can be wrong. That's kind of the thing. The whole point of science is to always question, right? That's literally what the scientific process is constant questioning until you can no longer disprove the theory, right? That's how it's supposed to work. So the new version of science, which is don't question us, we're science, is ridiculous. It's false. It's a religion. It's madness. You just have to trust it based on faith. Oh, just trust the science because it's the science. Question it. On what basis, Chris Cuomo? On the basis that you're a journalist. Question the science. You should question everything, especially if you're a journalist. But if you're just a person, you should question everything. Literally question everything. Question it's simple things. Question your paycheck. Question the food you eat. Just question everything all the time. You should always be questioning. And there's different schools of people, and you can tell who they are. But we tend to be the question crowd. And I think it's pretty obvious with the fact that we do things like predict World War III 2 years ago.
Oh, I don't know, David. I mean, clearly we're just travelers from the future, you know. It's not like there's super smart people out there telling you all the indicators of a war at a global level or what it actually takes for a global war. Or for you to just fucking think that if we fund a war in a place, that's opposition is also tied to the other superpowers in the area, that by definition it's actually a global war. And to go further, if globalism is inevitable and most of our global markets are tied together, anything that affects one is tied to the other in a global sense. So everything is already a global war when there's any kind of conflicts on the globe. But because they haven't fucking defined it like gender and sex for you, you don't wake up and get pissed off about it.
They haven't declared it. It hasn't been declared, Ryan.
I want to take the inspection sticker to the Supreme Court and tell them to lick my ass, but what do you got?
I don't know if that'll work.
Yeah, we'll see. What do we got there?
What do we got?
Yeah, we record.
Yeah, we can record.
I don't know if he had something else.
No, we got Mike's chat.
Yeah.
Trump's the best. He's the best at bankruptcy. Trump is the best at bankruptcy.
Did he write the laws?
No, he's just the best at it.
Okay, so I guess he won. If so, he's the GOAT at getting free money to keep getting wealthy.
Oh, this picture that isn't this reminds me. They officially,
monkey?
in case you missed it. Yeah, it looks like Harambe smoking a joint. In case anyone missed it,
the Doge dog.
Yeah, no, yeah, well, yes. Okay, so that's not where I was going. Yes, R.I.P. Doge. Doge has died at 18 years old. Very sad. In case anyone missed it, the geoengineering is real and it's 100% safe. They tested it; it's all safe. So don't worry, you're not getting the chemicals in the sky. Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Well, it's parts per million, though, David.
It's just parts per million. It's fine. You're fine.
Did you guys hear about the microplastics found in every human penis that they did a study in?
The what?
Type this in on Google because we got to talk about.
You want me to type in? I'm not typing in microplastics penis in Google. You better be real specific about your search.
I sent you the article on your phone.
You did?
Well, it's a screenshot. Microplastics found in testicles.
No way. For real? Why did I not see this?
Well, it was in parts per million, David.
Was it a while ago?
It was this week.
Oh, wow. Yeah, totally missed that.
Wow. Way to put the producer hat on, Dave.
Every guy in America has plastic balls.
Literally, we're all Ken dolls.
Microplastics in every human testicle in study. Found in every human testicle in study. That's lovely.
Yeah, it's just plastic per billion people, David. No worries. If I am not, Neil deGrasse Tyson work is literally not a scientist. He's just a fucking front. The guy's not a real person. His whole life is probably fucking contrived backstory. Oh, it's just parts per million. Geoengineering isn't real. I know, Ryan, you've been just watching planes spray fucking X's in front of the cloud the same way every day for 10 years now. But no, just go to bed, conspiracy theorists. They're not. Why would they poison the air? They have to breathe the air too. Even though we just seen Dyson make fucking air shit that can Oh my god.
Cou-
Oh my
a couple.
fucking god. And now that every guy's got plastic literally in your fucking dick. You have plastic in your dick.
Plastic.
In your dick. Your dick is plastic. You're a Ken doll.
It's
Literally.
plastic, right?
I want to hear about how you're, oh, well, you know, that's just the way it is. You think the fucking shit got there by accident. And you think the people that put the shit in the shit that got there by accident was by accident? Am I saying that every company that used plastic was like, you know, one day our grandchildren will have plastic penises? No, I don't think that's necessarily the case. But you damn well know that they knew what would happen when they wrapped everything we eat in plastic. They knew damn well what they were doing when they mixed the shit in the plane trails with poison.
Ryan, I want to go to my ex real quick because I shared a couple things that I remembered about now. First and foremost,
Fuck Ben
um,
Shapiro. Fucking
wait, hold on,
such a...
hold on. First and foremost, George Floyd. We must all celebrate his sobriety. He is 4 years sober today. Yesterday, 2 days ago, the 25th. I think the 25th.
You don't
4
even
years
remember
sober.
the...
Congratulations.
Yeah. Can you breathe?
Um,
What's up with the Ben Shapiro thing?
well, hold on. We'll get to that because I know how you.
It's disgusting.
We need to listen to this woman list all her accomplishments.
All I could think about was the fact that I currently hold an honorary doctorate. I also hold a Juris Doctorate. I also hold a bachelor's. I also technically hold the rank of Lieutenant Colonel in the Civil Air Patrol, and I actually practiced law for almost 2 decades, in addition to serving on various boards, in addition to being a prior state lawmaker. And there are those that would make some people believe that because I happen to be Black and or a woman, that somehow, even though I can rattle off all the qualifications in the world, my Blackness makes me unqualified.
So, of course,
No,
ridiculous.
if the only thing I hear about is your blackness, it makes you unqualified. I could care less about what you can or can't do, considering the people that founded the greatest country in the history of all of humanity were fucking homeschooled at Sunday school, at churches, and they built everything with a fucking compass. You have a fucking dopamine addiction and love power. But we're not the same. Everybody's addicted to their damn cell phones. I don't want to hear anything about the quality of somebody's character. We all have cell phones addictions. If you shot heroin or drank alcohol as much as you get a dopamine rush from your cell phone, we'd all be in Alcoholics Anonymous tomorrow.
I was just gonna say it's not because she's Black; it's because she's a woman.
Well, yeah, we can pay her less, right, David?
Obviously, that's a joke. Everyone, relax. I thought this one's interesting. Check this out. Sex is not a need for anyone. Nobody dies without it, is what this person says. I found this because Pearly Things, as she's known on The X, had shared this. The funny thing is that women crying that sex isn't a need for men are revealing how little they understand men. And then what she had responded was, sex is not a need. What I said was the entire fucking human race goes away without it. So it sounds like a need.
Right. I'll go a little further, more psychological, David. Obviously, you're correct, but in order for a woman to have sex, she must feel loved. In order for a man to feel love, he must have sex. So that's really like the difference between men and women is like, I don't want to get into this psycho fucking, but men feel love when they feel sex, when they have sex most of the time. It's when a guy feels closest to his wife. That is why it's always at the center of so many problems in relationships. But the problem with the relationship about not getting laid a lot of the times is the very courting process that the male forgets. The woman needs to feel wanted and secure and safe and loved and all these other things. And you, a lot of time in long-term relationships, you forget about it, which is why it's a damn issue. Because what you're basically seeing here, even with Pearly Things, we have a bunch of people, I've been in part of this and I'm included in this, but we have a bunch of people understanding how to attract each other, but we don't understand how each other really work at a deep level. to keep each other engaged in the relationship so that you bond for a long time. And the sad part is no matter how good the breakdown is of tweets like this, you will only see the loud reactions and not the actual information. Because it all goes back to the same thing. Like, you know, back to your point, David, sex is actually a need for both sexes because, like, you mentally get, like, raising children is one of the most fulfilling things you can do. So, like, if it's something fulfilling, that means there's some kind of biology to make you feel that. And if it feels that fulfilling, that means it must be good for you. So, therefore, like, if being a parent wasn't healthy for the human race, we wouldn't have the capability of being parents. So it's not even like a need. It's like not even a necessity. It's like the bare minimum to be a person is to want to have a family, which involves having sex.
Well, they just broke it down in a very simplistic way. Like, well, you won't die without it. It's like, well, no, but that's not what that means. You're defining it in a very different way. And then which of course, though, I say the race dies without it. So that's why I said the race dies without it, because to boil it down that nobody dies, literally the entire population of Earth dies.
You don't die if you don't talk, but it makes your life a lot harder. You'll have a lot less happiness if you can't talk. If you can't pick things up, you'll have a lot less happiness. You're not going to die, but you'll have a lot less happiness. And if you have a lot less happiness, you'll have a shorter lifespan. If you have a shorter lifespan, that's the definition of dying prematurely. If you die, like, I just thought, I know we're just fucking taking dumbass tweets that's probably written by a computer somewhere, but it's like a lot of people, when you scroll and you see this stuff, you don't sit there and look at it another minute and think about it. When in reality, we're at that point in human experience that we do have to break down every microsecond of the information we're consuming, almost.
Question here in the chat: do chemtrails put plastics in the air for air, or do the plane trails put plastics in the air or chem for weather control?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think even the conspiracy kings, they don't really know. The most important thing is that you can measure it. It doesn't matter why. It's measurable. It's there. The difference is that they have talked about it in various things. Okay. There's been various articles that you can go to, but you can look up the patents for the chemtrail spraying things. You would have to cross-reference multiple lists, but you could type in Google patents for chemtrails, and then you'll go to like some conspiracy website that will have the patents. You got to go take those patents and then go to the Google patent website and type them in there. And I've done that before, and that's how you can start actually seeing that this is why it's so easy for them to do this, is because the shit's made at the factory with the capability. So it's the people even at the airplane buildings don't really know about it, except for a few people, which is why you're seeing high executives having to be killed at Boeing when they're having problems. Like it's they don't need to kill all the janitors anymore. But the point is bare minimum, they can manipulate the weather to make it rain. They do it in Dubai, okay? They're not spraying every day. I'm not saying this. They're not spraying every day to make it cloudy on purpose to make rain. Like, it's not cloudy with a chance of meatball specific sometimes. What I genuinely believe they're doing, especially here in the city, what I think they do it is like a sedative. It's a sedative, you know, and I mean, maybe there's some other applications, like it kills bugs, it keeps the fog down, it keeps the maybe there is some kind of thing. It's not all nefarious.
I mean, they literally do spray pesticides out of planes.
So, but yeah, I just, once again, I've always noticed, I have pictures of this on my phone. I've talked about this on Facebook in 2016, but they always do X's. Like, commercial airliners aren't flying in X's past each other. It just doesn't fucking happen. And like the idea that it's just water vapor disappear. Like, it's just, this is the problem, is like everybody's just be like, oh, you think blah, blah. It's like, no, I'm just trying to like ask a genuine question. Like this
On
does,
what basis?
well, it just doesn't seem to make sense, David, that every day at the same time I see planes flying in straight lines and X's right above where the sun's going to be. And then a few hours later, where there was no clouds, there's now a fuck ton of clouds and you can't see the sun. You know, like, and you could tie it into the climate change shit. If the earth doesn't get sun, it doesn't green. And if it doesn't green, then they can say that the humans are killing the environment and not allowing the earth to green.
I was gonna film outside today and do an outside cast, but it was gonna thunderstorm at either 7:15 or 8, so I had to
Oh,
unfortunately.
yeah. I wish they were more specific with their weather modification. Yeah, look, it's just,
That's the
I
science.
reference, I will always reference, it's my favorite conspiracy short
There
of
must have been a delay.
short of adrenochrome. It's my favorite conspiracy because I think it's one of the things that when you start doing digging, even the reasoning on why, oh, it's just water vapor. When you just start hearing the reasons why, if you start doing basic fucking science and basic understanding, you're like, this doesn't even make sense. Water vapor doesn't stay in the air in those conditions that long. Well, what about clouds? It's just, it's not accurate. And they can spray to change the weather already. So, like,
That's a fact.
so it's just,
I mean, that's not a conspiracy. That's a flat.
yeah,
out fact.
but they said they can't do it. And that the fucking Sahara is a desert. But you can spray chemicals and make it rain in Dubai, which is a desert. So what is it? Trust the science. Unless it's making gay bombs, David.
Yeah, of course that's ridiculous. You wanted to know about Ben Shapiro. It was just Owen Schroyer, who I think is a Alex Jones guy.
Yeah.
Part of InfoWars or something. Yeah, okay. He was just hating on Ben Shapiro, and I shared it because I always love a good hatred of Ben Shapiro.
Is that Jew
it
hatred,
says-
David?
It says American Jews need a better face and voice than this propagandist warmonger, now disliked by both the left and the right. He clearly can't and won't correct course, and it says he causes more anti-Semitism than Nick Fuentes ever could. Yeah, I don't like Ben Shapiro, so of course I shared that. Yeah, little Ben Shapiro hate, not because he's a Jew, just because he sucks.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yo, did you see?
that's the guy. Hey, that's the guy. Chase Oliver. Look at him. That's the face of liberty, my friends.
That dude looks like a transgender Forrest Gump.
Janae. They just
Jen-
keep on running.
Chennai.
His election will never stop if he's transgender Forrest Gump. Just keeps running.
Sir, you already won. Why are you still campaigning? I just can't stop.
Oh no, Chase Oliver would be so upset to see this. What do you have for the record, Ryan? I think I took over the record. I didn't mean to overtake the record.
Did you see the video of Diddy beating the shit out of Cassidy?
I'm sure he apologizes for it sincerely.
Oh my god. I'd rather have kids than be a billionaire.
So, yeah, of course. I mean, the answer is of course, kids, but it's a this or that question, right? You can't be a billionaire and have kids.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you have to pick one. Yeah, I'm picking kids all day, of course.
Yeah. What's the poll results though?
Well, it's
Wow.
closer than I. It's actually a lot
People
closer than I
don't
expect.
understand it. You know, and this is the problem with the internet.
Yeah, that's way closer than I expect.
Yo,
there's
fuck
the guy.
that dude.
Dude, that's the guy. That's him.
Shit, no.
There's no. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. I do listen. I like libertarianism. That's not the guy.
Dude, did they print a mask with the libertarian symbol on there?
I was trying to. It's too like low res. Tan. It's got to mean something. I don't know what it means. Tan staffel.
What a bunch of fucking retards, dude.
I have no idea what the fuck tan staffel means. I don't know. I was trying to read it earlier. I don't know what that means.
Yo, and people, once again, it's not a joke. The Libertarian Party didn't nominate that
joke.
guy for no reason. Like, they're trying to steal your fucking country. Don't trust the FBI, though. The people that have experience in crashing countries. They just assassinated JFK.
Yeah, it's well, he's getting a lot of FaceTime at least.
Yo, and Tim Pool just needs to shut the fuck up too. Have I said that lately?
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, he just shut the fuck up, dude. I'm so tired of you like getting on the fucking internet. I don't care if you make more money. I don't care about your reach, bro. You're just getting on the internet and just stirring shit up to monetize and make money. Fuck you, dude. I see you had something.
Oh man,
It was something
That's
about
upset.
dating or marriage or something. Yeah, we didn't talk about King Charles painting last week, but fuck that guy.
King Charles painting.
Yeah, have you seen that?
Like he painted it.
No, it was a painting of the official portrait of King Charles.
I don't think Dubai uses chemicals. I think it's just water they push out.
They spray water in the air to make it rain in 130-degree temperatures in the sky.
Would-
And it's not chemical, Mike. It's not chemicals. It's called chemistry. Like H2O is hydrogen and oxygen atoms. So if there's oxygen in the air and they introduce hydrogen, it can make water.
What am I searching? I don't even remember what I'm searching.
King Charles official painting.
Oh, I did see this. I didn't realize that's what that was.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
so
it's
terrible.
Creepy. It's creepy, dude.
Oh God. Hold on.
Yeah, it's creepy.
What in the shit is this,
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah.
Why does he look like he's like in the afterbirth?
Tell me it's like it looks like it's made like out of blood, like blood or something.
It probably is.
It's all the leftover adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome. Yeah, it's an adrenochrome painting.
Adrenochrome paintbrush.
Okay. Yeah, that's
completely normal for a world leader to paint like that during a non-economic world war.
It looks like Biden from his famous speech a couple years ago.
Yeah, with the red background. Clearly coincidence.
Dude. Yeah, I'm sure it's all coincidence, of course.
Just V, Dave. Just a bunch of V.
Dude, that's fucking weird. I didn't realize. Okay, so I did see that picture. I just didn't know what the hell that was. Okay, that's King Charles' official portrait for some reason.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I don't like that. Back to white people.
Yeah, we talked about AMC and Goodfellas. We talked about microplastics in your dick. Speaking of black people, Assassin's Creed, David.
Yeah, they got a new something coming out, right?
Yeah, you heard about this, huh?
Well, listen, I never really was super into it's a great game, but I just never got into it for whatever reason. You know how sometimes you just don't. It doesn't.
Yeah, like whatever. Red Dead. I never got into Red Dead.
Yeah, it can be a great game, but also I'm not into it. It's just kind of how it is.
Yeah,
so
could just be
that's Assassin's Creed for me. It's just for
queers. Yeah. So
you're not with Chase Oliver running for president. I won't say it, Ryan.
People don't.
You almost got me.
People who don't know, Assassin's Creed's like one of the best game franchises in my opinion ever, and it's also highly critically acclaimed. It's very popular. It's a huge. It has a lot of fan base to it, and it makes a lot of money. So like anything,
it's kind of cool because there's always like a lot of like history.
Yeah, that's
not like actual history, but it does like base in certain time periods and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, basically like the premises is like you as a character in a computer that basically plays a simulation of a person in different time periods, and they've done everything from like American Revolution to the Renaissance and ancient Egypt. And their newest game they just announced this week is in feudal Japan. And there's going to be like a girl Asian ninja assassin. And then there's going to be a black samurai, David.
Oh, the famous black samurai.
And apparently he's homosexual.
Well, of course he is. It was... No, you may not know your history very well, but it was very normal to have gay black samurai
in feudal Japan.
Yeah. Very super common.
Apparently, the black samurai was a real thing.
Were they also gay?
How would you know?
I'm sure.
How would you
I'm
know?
sure one existed in all of history, right?
Well, this one in particular, I guess. That's like the whole thing about the game that makes it cool. But I didn't reference it other than to just say that I swear to fucking God, can we just tell stories? I don't care if they're gay. I don't care if they're black. I don't care if they're Asian. I don't care the time period. I don't care
Well, they really should be Asian if they're samurais.
I don't care about the council. What about Tom Cruise? I don't care. Just tell the story you want to
Well, he
tell,
was the last.
how you want to tell it. If everybody's white, if everybody's gay, if everybody's and to do it to video games, which is a medium that can bring everybody loves games, so bring it to video games where it's the most of it's just bullshit. I'm tired of it. I know what you guys are doing. You're funding billion-dollar companies to push agendas. Not saying that people playing Assassin's Creed as a black gay samurai are going to want to go and suck cock. But what I am telling you is when I see a unilateral decision to make these various choices and they happen, if beer companies and video game companies are doing the same thing, tell me where's the incentive?
Oh, is there a trans samurai?
Trans samurai. So yeah, other than anything, I don't have the new consoles. I've kind of aged out of video games a little bit. I hope the game is fucking cool, and I hope that the gay samurai black problems don't overshadow great quality craftsmanship. And more than anything, the thing that really that the real shame and shit about controversies, especially around video games and movies and stuff and TV shows, is all the people that actually put in the effort to make the world and the world building and the costumes and the art and the post photography and the sound and all these people that build the things that we love to consume and all the and 99% of them don't have the agenda that is being pushed, and they make the thing just because they love making artwork, and then it gets fucking bullshit rainbow washed or black washed or white washed, whatever washed, because of some corporate executive has an invested interest and an ego or insert reason. So it's just a shame that art has to suffer because of fucking people's opinion. And to do it to video games when, like I said, it's in the day and age right now where Dave and I's generation will soon be guinea pigs for the younger generation because they're going to be basically half cyborgs by 5 years old. Like, games and technology is going to be one of the few things that we'll be able to share with our children that we both understand each other through. Because our kids are not going to be able to relate to the way we grew up. So, I'm not saying that you got to get in a VR world for your kid to fucking relate to you either. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that when you look at morals and values and psychology of things, it's going to be very different. Hey.
Yeah, it's still Twitter, or X. Wait, is that supposed to be AOC? Is that like goth AOC?
Goth AOC ain't bad, huh?
Oh, that's interesting.
Now, some would call that whitewashing because she's fucking Hispanic or some kind of.
Well, she's a goth. Yeah, but when you're a goth, you do become pasty white. It's just kind of the nature of goth.
Is goth a culture then, David? Trump was
goth is a culture for sure.
Trump was in the Bronx, David. Did you see this?
Yeah, he's been in the Bronx before.
No, I mean he held a rally.
Oh, he held a rally. Well, surely nobody showed up because he's not popular in New York.
It was fucking crazy. And not to mention, Trump got boos and he also got applause, showing that look, no one's doing this. No one's ever done this. No one's gone into the fucking hot belly of the quote unquote opposition and gotten recognition. And nobody's doing this. You're telling me the big bad evil guy that's got to get arrested and is quote unquote the alleged front runner or whatever they worded, but he's going to the places and making the people of different points of view come down and see him and question the fucking government.
That's a presumptive nominee, Ren.
Presumptive, thank you. I didn't want to misgender him. Is that his gender affiliation?
Presumptive.
Yeah, presumptive is my gender. Yeah, look, I don't want to go crazy with it. It's just cool. You don't see it. It reminds me of when he came to Buffalo. It's just, it doesn't happen. And it makes me...
Yeah, I got it. Ooh, we got to go back. We got to backtrack. We got to heavily disagree here. Games, this is to the Assassin's Creed thing. Games do this to hit different demographics. That's all it is, introducing gay and different ethnic groups. The only reason is money. You don't, in a marketing campaign to minorities. by definition they're a minority, so it's going to be very expensive marketing. So you don't market to gay black samurai. You're just not going to get a lot of return on the investment.
Your target audience for Assassin's Creed isn't gay black samurai. You know what's crazy in particular about the community? Like, I only know this because I've been a dork with the game for a long time. People have always asked for feudal Japan as a setting. Always. They weren't asking for the guy to suck dick. They didn't. They weren't asking for the guy to suck dick. There's actually
great shame.
It's just and once again, I don't care if you want to include don't include the sexuality in the game to begin with. But this all ties in the further narrative that our video game characters that we play, we have to fuck as them too. We can't just have the screen go black or have like that not in the game to begin with. You have to have the romance so that we can keep pushing dopamine to make you addicted to the fucking game to begin with. People care more about the gender of a video game character that doesn't exist than the fucking health of their family that they live in the house with. What is this? AI takes
control of gas pumps? Is it okay? Before we watch this, because I don't see what it's doing, is it possible? Just you gotta give some benefit of the doubt always, right? When you question things.
I don't know why. Is this the guy that predicted 9/11, David?
Well, perhaps. Is it possible it's just a glitch?
I read about this 2 years ago in a BlackRock ESG. So I just pulled in here to get gas. It says fueling limit, and before this is said under.
Hold on, before we go further, what does he drive? Is that like a
Hellcat?
Charger?
Hellcat?
Does he drive a Hellcat?
Yeah, he's got a Hellcat last I knew.
Oh, Alex Jones rules. All right.
He's fucking. Yo, hold on, Alex. I love you.
Fuel is turning the cars, gang.
Yo, Alex, I love you, bro. But are you sure you have more than $74 in your bank account?
That's tough to fill your tank when you just got
you
$1 billion
owe
lawsuit.
$10 trillion to India.
Is it a trillion? It's a trillion, isn't it? Is it a billion?
Dude, it's crazy.
I don't remember what
it's like
it
the
is.
GDP
It's like literally
of a
world
country.
economies.
GDP of a whole country.
Flash. So I'm trying to fill my car up. It'll probably fill it before then. But it says carbon fueling limit 74. So no matter how much money I have, it's only going to give me so much fuel.
That's called the
That's the globalist, folks.
They used to do this back in the day. It was called a
rationing.
It was rationing. It was during the fuel shortage.
Was that when we were at war again, David?
See, I don't think that's AI taking control of gas pumps. That's. I'm just going to go a little further than that. It's not AI taking control of gas pumps. Somebody is telling people that you can only have so much gas at your. Somebody made that pump say $74. That's not AI taking over.
Well,
it's if anything, it's worse than that.
What if the somebody just punched in a computer to do that, David?
Yeah, somebody did punch it into a computer.
Gotcha. Punching in the computer. I seen an article that said that the cost of child care, like daycare,
yeah, super cheap,
costs more than rent in all 50 states on average.
But we did an article that people can't afford rent.
Right, and they also can't afford child care, David.
So then they can't have families.
Well, why would you need a family, David, when we're poison to the world? It's humans' fault that it gets hotter and colder. Yo, fuck Tim Pool. I don't fucking care if you fucking talk to Trump, you fucking prick. You sellout prick.
What is... Yeah, I don't even want to watch that.
Yo, people gotta get off Keanu Reeves' dick too. I don't know, like the guy just wants to be left alone.
That's fair.
Like the guy literally just wants privacy, and you're like, oh my god, he's just like so amazing because he trains with firearms for movies that make him millions. Just whatever. All right, that's my record. December Tainment this week. I re-listened to the Terrence Howard podcast on Rogan. I also
listen to it again.
Yeah, it's incredible. I
still need to watch it in full. I've watched a lot of clips of it, and every time I watch a clip, I'm like, ooh, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, and I also watched a breakdown about why he was wrong, and I thought it was good to get the alternate perspective.
Was it from Neil deGrasse Tyson?
I swear to God, I cannot wait to tear these people down.
He's gonna be in Buffalo, Ryan.
When?
I didn't see plastics. You didn't see my Neil deGrasse Tyson thing. I don't remember exactly when. I put a link in the.
Maybe we'll go down there and harass him.
Yeah, I don't.
Tell him that Terrence Howard is right.
Just show up in a Terrence Howard was right, change my mind booth.
Yeah. I'd be like, yo, what's the square root of 2, bro?
Monday, October 14th.
What's the square root of 2, bro?
Ooh, it's at Kleinhans. I saw Louis C.K. at Kleinhans. I think it was Louis C.K.
They're giving that guy a premier venue to fucking talk at.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a fucking CIA con scientist. All right.
Dude, we're posting up front. Terrence Howard was right. Changed my mind.
Yo, it'd be so great, dude. Crowder would be proud. All right, I guess I'm gone. Yeah, as always, Dave Ryan, December 17th.
Did you even say what you... That was it. That was the Decembertainment.
What? Yeah.
I rewatched Terrence Howard. You were not entertained. It doesn't sound like you... Are you not entertained, Ryan?
I day drank for like 3 days this weekend, David.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
It's fucking
That's fair.
Memorial Day weekend. No, rewatch the interview. It's crazy. I don't know what to say. I still don't understand it. Like, that's why they'll have to point.
Mike says we need free child care, and then he said RFK for president.
Look, I would agree with you.
Listen, RFK, better choice than Biden. I'll give you that
Look,
much.
I would agree with you if it didn't involve the government. If it's attached to the government, no. They can't even do the things they're supposed to do. Just because the road gets paved doesn't mean they're good at paving roads. Just because they can give people money doesn't mean they're good at doing this. Like, just because they can provide a service doesn't mean it's efficient at the service. You're right, though. I don't disagree. If they can sign away trillions of dollars for war, they can give us free health care. They can give, but not through the government.
Yeah, it's the free college idea, right?
Yeah, I would love
100%. If you're just gonna print the money out and give it to Ukraine, then fucking leave it here and fine. We'll agree to free college.
I'll 100% agree.
But the problem is when you have government handing out things like free college, free childcare, free whatever, it disincentivizes the whole thing. So like when you have we're not going to get into the big debate here, but basically if you have free college, that means two things. One, college, everybody is not volunteering, and the facilities aren't free, right? So the college isn't free. Let's get that out of the way. It's still an expense, and somebody has to pay for it. So when we say things like free college or free healthcare, it's not free. It's funded by taxes.
Forced as well, then.
Yeah. So the reason that's important, though, is because somebody's still charging. And again, guess what happens? And I'm just telling you what happens. This is why college is so expensive right now. College says, "Ooh, you're going to fund $50,000 towards people's school." Well, guess what? I just doubled their tuition because I'm going to take $50,000 from you, and I'm going to take $50,000 from the student. So that's what happens. It's going to happen with healthcare. It's also going to lead to shortages.
Yeah,
it's a whole. We could get into a big debate someday, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah, and you get back to your point, Dave. You get lower quality, so you're actually getting less for triple the amount.
And yes, and it completely devalues. If you could talk about free college, if everyone has a college degree, then what's the fucking degree worth? Nothing.
Well,
it's like saying It's like saying I have a high school diploma. Fucking big deal.
Well, David,
nobody cares.
You might be right in that regard. I meant the actual physical sense of like, if everybody is going to the same thing, like the larger the pool, the more hands in the pot, the less each hand gets in the pot. Now, granted, we do have enough in this country that everybody could get a full hand every time you reach into the pot. I understand that. They pick the winners and losers. I'm just saying a lot of times, look at fast food, right? Like McDonald's sells a lot of cheeseburgers, but what is the quality of the cheeseburgers? It's the lowest quality cheeseburger, but they make a lot of them. And
you know what I would support tomorrow?
What?
Write this bill up, right? If I'm president, I'm signing it tomorrow. Paid internships.
Yeah, 100%.
Government-funded internships.
Yeah.
Listen, the employer,
and if
the employer doesn't have to pay you. I'm going to pay you a nice living wage, and in the meantime, you're going to learn a good, valuable trade on site with real experience where it matters.
Yep.
I would sign that bill tomorrow if I was president. It was presented to me.
Yeah, with a non-government tied in entity too, like an actual business owner that's trying to make a profit to pay for a lifestyle.
That is so much more valuable, than a free college degree.
Yeah, I feel real bad for the people. I spent 10 grand on education for a skill, and the people that paid 100 grand for a piece of paper. So, I guess we'll leave it there. Dave Ryan, December 17th, 73. Catch us on Rumble for the weekly show. As always, I appreciate everybody for your time, including you, David, for yours the most. And I'll see you guys later.
It's worth the ads, everyone. Watch us on Rumble.
Buy one of those hoodies. They're so comfortable.
Hoodies, bearskin, Trump lighter.
Yeah.
Get it all.
Get the
Don
lighter.
Jr.'s book.
The book, too. The book, man. I read it in one night,